Hello everyone, welcome to Ajiro Tech. Ajiro Tech. In this video, we're going to be looking at the Cambridge IGCSE ICT, which means Information and Communication Technology, with the course code 0417. And we're looking at the variant um, 3, which is paper 3, website authoring. So that's what we're looking at in this video, the website authoring. October, November 2024, which was a paper that was released few hours ago as of the time of this recording. Duration for the whole paper is 2 hours 15 minutes. The instructions are very crucial and important. So please go to the instructions because they will help you a lot. Total mark for this paper is 70, and let's get right to it. You have been supplied with the following source files. So these are the files you have been supplied with for this paper. We have done tax 1 evidence. Okay, we've done tax 2 spreadsheet. The video is right here on this YouTube channel, so go look for it because I took out my time to explain everything to the detailed, right? I mean, if you don't know anything about spreadsheet, you're watching this video on spreadsheet in October, November 2024, you would love it because I took out my time to teach you and not just to solve a past paper, because that's what we do here. We teach more than we solve. Okay, so yes, so we teach you how to do it. Okay. So we're starting with tax 3 file management, which is part of the website authoring because we have file management, images, and then we have the web page. Okay, so tax 3 file management. We have to create a folder called N24. That's what we're creating a folder called N24. We'll just copy it and I'll come here. Okay, open this. So right here, I can create a folder called new folder, and I will paste it N24. Okay, so what am I doing next? Locate only the following files and store them. When you locate, you have to cut them and move them to this folder, not copy. You have to move them to this N24 folder. So you have the HTML, 3 HTML, 1 PNG, 1 CSS. Okay, so one, hold my control to select the next one. While still holding my control to select this, the picture, and of course the CSS. So I'm going to right click right here, the scissors to cut, or if you have the words there, cut it, come into this folder, and then please paste it. Okay, so that is done. Tax 4 web page. You would create a web page to help trainee learn HTML. Can we talk about HTML for a minute? Please, let's talk about HTML for a minute. So I have this. Okay, so the first thing you need to understand when we talk about a web page is that it is created using 3 layers. We have the content layer, presentation layer, and behavior layer. I'm not going to bore you with all the details. I just want to talk about HTML. It's an abbreviation for hypertext markup language. It is a text-based language used to develop the content layer. And when we talk about the content layer, it is where the content of your web page, which falls in the body section, such as the text, images, your page structures, which includes the table. Okay, so this is very important. And it is also an important notice to note that files are written in HTML, right? That simply means that you can use a simple text editor like your Visual Studio Code, Notepad++, Sublime Text, bracket if you're using a MacBook to actually do it. Or if you're using a web authoring package, which has what you see is what you get, the Wistic way, such as Adobe River, Microsoft Expression Web, Microsoft Front Page, whichever one you're using, it is fine. But it's always important that this file has to be previewed by a web browser, such as the Microsoft Edge, Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, or Mozilla Firefox. I personally, for one, prefer the Microsoft Edge because there's something I've brought into the IGCSE world to make your screenshot more better. And yes, you saw it was, I think Ajiro Tech was the first YouTube channel. Yeah. Okay. It's not a credit or anything, but yeah, we were the first YouTube channel to actually bring out that method to show other people how to actually do it. And that's why you're here, right? Okay. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. Open the style sheet in an editor. So N 24 web.css in an editor. So let's open it. Okay, so I'm going to open it here. Open with, right? And then I'll use the Microsoft Expression Web 4. Okay. Okay, so done. What else? Add a new class called red. Let's talk about class. Let's talk about class. Class is somewhere in this slide. Let's talk about class. Okay. Good. So let's talk about class. Okay, I think this is perfect here. Now, when you define a class, it has a full stop at the start of the class name. Everything else is, in terms of structure and declaration, is the same as the CSS style. Okay, so it is important, right? And let's say, suppose you wanted just one paragraph of the web page to have some additional formatting, such as the different color text. You can easily do this using classes. They're useful for adding, that's what classes for. They're useful for adding to or changing styles without defining a completely new style. You can define a class in the style sheet by using the dot or full stop symbol. And that's why when you define a class, it has a full stop at the start of the class name. Okay. Okay. So you define a class the right way, the same way you want to define a style. Okay. So let's get to it. So let's look at this. So a class name called red that sets the font color to the hexadecimal code for red when this class is applied. So let's do this. So essentially panels. Now I have done a website authoring video from episode 1 to episode 11 explaining the fundamentals of website authoring. I mean, if you go through that video, it would so blow your mind. Like literally, it's an eye opener. Students who have gone through it said, Mr. Joe, once I was blind, now I can see. Like I can literally now see website authoring in a different way ever since you put out those episode 1 to episode 11. For those who have gone in, they've never remained the same. And this is it's free resource. It's right here on this YouTube channel. On the web, detailed explanation from episode 1 to episode 11. What are you waiting for? Go there, have good time with it. Trust me, you would enjoy. Okay, so here, the same way we create a class, a style. So I'll come here, click on new style. Okay, and then right here, under the selector, I'll put in red, right? Because it said what? A new class called red. Okay, that sets the font color, okay, to the hexadecimal code for red. So I have red here, the font color. So I have the font color here, and I'm going to choose red. So this is the color code for red, FF. And remember, it's RGB. So it means the arrow is red, the rest is 0. So I'm going to apply. And click on OK. All right. The next thing is what? They said, add a new class called center. So let's do that. Click here on new style. And I'm going to use the British spelling. Okay. That centered align text when the class is applied. Centered aligns text. Okay. So we have the text align. Text align. So center, the American spelling of center. And then I'll click on apply and OK. Okay. Save your style sheets. Okay, by all means, I would save it. Good. Take a screenshot to show the content of your style sheet and place this in your evidence document. Make sure all the contents are clearly visible. So let's do that real quick. Okay, so we have to take everything in one screenshot. So I'm just going to remove all the spaces. Okay, remove all the spaces. I think they would do us a little bit of good. Good. So now I can take all the screenshot they want to go. All right. So I'll just save it really. So let me take the screenshot. So I will go to my snipping tool. My snipping tool. Click on new. Now take my screenshot here. Please ensure everything is properly showing. Okay. So good. All right. So this is going to be what step is this? Step 13. So okay. We've done videos on the spreadsheet. Okay, so it has one screenshot. So now paste it here. Okay, good. I can come here a bit to reduce it. It's becoming too much. Keeping the aspect ratio. So I have this. I'm going to save this. So that's done. The next thing is open and examine the web page called n24web.htm. Okay, so I'm going to open it. Okay, open with the Microsoft Expression Web 4. So I have this. I can always preview it to Microsoft Edge. Now, if you don't have Microsoft Edge, it's fine. I'm going to show you how to do it. So come here, click on File, Preview in Browser, Edit Browser List. Come here to Add, and right here, type Microsoft Edge. Click on Browse, and come here to this PC. Okay, Program 86. Scroll down to Microsoft Edge application. Right here, this is the exe for it. Click on open, and then once you're done, you click on OK, and that is it. Once you click on OK, and then you can come here to check it, uncheck the rest, and then click on OK. Literally, that's how to do it. Okay, so I can come here to preview my work. Either I come here to preview here, or right here, you can come here to preview it here. So this is how it looks like at the end of the day. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. Now, the web page and attached style sheet have been created for you. The web page appears like this. So this is, let me explain the structure for this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rows, 1, 2, 2 columns. So that simply means that 2 columns. So this is probably merged. So that means the code, this when it's merged horizontally, we have it as co-span. So if you look at it here, you see that you have a co-span here too. Okay, so you have a co-span here too. And then here, this for the B, it has been merged vertically, which means a row span. So it has 1, 2, 3, row span 3, and that's what you have here. And then this was also merged. Okay, so this is a co-span 2, and if you scroll down to your right here, you will see that you have a co-span 2. Okay, so it's very important. So here is your C, which is the same row. So this means you have this here and you have this here, HTML, right? And then what else? CSS is here. So CSS is D. So that means you have the next row, which is only itself CSS. Okay. And then finally you have E, web candidate details for E, which is another row, okay, so which is this as well, and then you can close the other row, and finally you have the next row for you. So again, that is how it's done. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and if you're counting it here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have that. Okay, now they said each table cell in diagram is identified with a letter and must not appear in your final web page. Thankfully, they have done this for us, so it's not appearing. Edit the web page, edit the HTML so that the borders does not appear on the final web page. They have done this for us as well. So if you look at your code, you'll see that we don't have any border here. And of course, for the borders here, we don't have any border as well here. Okay. replace the text a candidate, right? When you see it in italics, this is the point of emphasis here, with your name, center number, and candidate number. So let's do this. Okay, let's do this. So with your name, I'll scroll down. So I'm going to replace this. Be very careful. My name, comma space AN017, comma space 2024. And I'm going to save. And since I've previewed it already, all I have to do is come here to refresh. So this is done. Okay. What else? They said save your web page in your N24 folder with the file name. Take note of this, with the file name. All right. So I'm going to just go with this example and then make some changes. Okay. They said save your web page. So whether it's in HTML or HTML is the same thing. So I'll come here to file, save as. So right here, I'm going to paste it and come here. My center number is AN017. Candidate number is 2024. Now, the save as type is seen as a web page. Take note, the save as type is seen as what? A web page. So just leave it the way it is. Click on save in your N24 folder. Okay, so click on save. So this is done. Okay. Now the next thing is set all text in cell A into style H1. Now I want to duplicate this so I can have this as the table to explain the basic concept. Is that fine? Right? So they said as style H1. So we have 6 kinds of heading. We have the H1 to H6. So they are all called headings. Okay, they are all called headings. So very important. So we have this. So style H1. So I'm going to go, which is the first one, the first row. Right here. So right here, I'm going to use the code for this. So I'll come here, H1. Sorry, your HTML tag should be in lowercase. So please take note of that. Should be in lowercase. So H1. Okay. Please, it's important for you to go through the website authoring video that I've done. It has from episode 1 to episode 11. So it is a no-brainer. You need to go through this. Okay, so please go there in my YouTube channel. Go have fun with it so that you can learn website authoring the right way. Okay, and then this is the opening tag. I've cut the closing tag and I'm going to paste it here. So I'm going to save this, and if I come here, I would preview on this. Okay, so this is not going to work because again, we've changed this. So I'll come here, preview it again. So now we have this. Okay, so now we have this. So let's come here. So the cells in style H1, which is this. So this is done. The next one is set the text web development layer in cell B. So this is cell B. Okay, in style H2. So let's do that. This learn install H2 is going to bring out the closing tag. That's the beauty about the web authoring packages. For text editors, Visual Studio Code also does that, right? Your Notepad++ also does that. But if you use a Notepad, you probably want to do it. You always have to close it, put the closing tag, right? So we have this. I'm going to save. Now, I don't have to preview all the time, right? I don't always have to preview all the time. So it simply means that I can always come here and just refresh, and this will be done. Okay, so they said what? Let's go. Install H2. Set all other paragraphs of text in cell B in style H3. Okay. So other paragraphs. So each of them, that means each of them, I'm going to do each of them, not all of them, because each of them is in a paragraph. Look at it. Look at the keyword. They said set all other paragraphs of text in style H3. All other paragraphs. So I'm going to do this. All other paragraphs. Okay, do this here. H3. Okay, so hope we're having a good time. Okay, so we have this H3. Now paste this here. Okay, so I have this. So I have this. So I'm going to save my work. A lot, and you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the EdExcel and Cambridge IGCSE, and yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have um, you know the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at ajirotech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about, and the fee is really quite affordable. Really, it's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable, and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E levels as well, um, and also for the EdExcel. So we have for the Cambridge E levels and EdExcel E levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E level, mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time. Even physics, for E level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at ajiro@gmail.com, and they'll reply to you. And the good news about this is, what I've discussed with the sales team is, we've tried as much as possible to see how we can subsidize the amount according to countries, so it doesn't really look very, very heavy. Okay, so so this is really important. Yes, we do charge in pounds, but again, we try to be as much as possible considerate to your countries, and we don't just skyrocket the price. No, because at the end of the day, we know how it feels, and we really want you to actually get the best of service, and again, be able to afford it from the comfort of your home. So again, Ajiro Tech private tuition is currently ongoing. You can enroll yourself for the IGCSE, and then for the E levels. Again, for the IGCSEs, these are the subjects, and for the E levels, these are also the subjects. So again, what are you waiting for? Just send an email to the system. If you're an IGCSE student preparing for IGCSE, if you're watching this in 2024, 5, when this is in 2026, when this is 2027, we're currently ongoing, and this is actually a good time for you to actually explore, and then get it tailored to your own needs. So trust me, you don't want to miss out. Okay, so I'm going to save my work. They said what? In style H3. So I'll come here to preview this. Okay, so this is done. So each of them is in style H3. Now the next one is, let's go back to this. Apply the class read to only the text. Apply the class read to only the text. Content layer, presentation layer, and behavioral layer. Now, for us to do this, we use, now they said to only what? This. So we're going to use what we call, let me see, they said to, okay, we're going to use what we call a span. Okay, a span class. And what's the class here? Red. Now, if there are more than one class, if you want to add more than one class, you do not add a span again. You only use what? A comma. Right here. So we have this right here. Where's it? They said a common error is to include a full stop before the right, and you can note there's no full stop here. It's only when we are defining the style. What else? Again, I think I have it right here in my slide that I talked about extensively on it. Extensively on it. Okay, good. This added to the right for the same and head, so the code markup looks like this. Okay, so essentially, right, it's right here somewhere in this kind of, maybe I'm not but essentially I will hear that when you're having more than one, okay, you use a comma to separate it, so you don't add another class. Okay, when you have more than one embedded CSS, you use a semicolon. So before a class, use what? A comma to actually what? Separate it. So this is very important that you take note of this, right? Okay, so let's go back to it. So we have this, and then red, and then we close the span here. Let me save this, and let's come to our browser view, and then let's refresh. Now I want to explain this. When we talk about the span, right? I want to talk about the span. The span is an inline container, right? The span, we use the span here. So this span here is an inline container that is typically used to group text, okay, or other inline elements for styling or for styling. So when a span element is assigned a class attribute, it allows you to apply a specific style to that span using CSS, right? Using what? CSS. So this is very important. Using what? CSS. Let's take note. Okay. So let's apply the class red to only this text. So let's do that here for this Hope for Learning span class is equals to what? Red. Then let's close this. Okay, so span class red. So if I want to separate it here, I can just do a comma, right? And then I can add. See that? Okay, good. Then I'll put this inside of this. Okay. I'm going to save my work, and I'll come here to the web page and refresh. Okay, so this is done. Now, the next thing I want to do is set the text in cell C. So when this is done, the text in cell C and D into style H2 with a class set to red. See that? With a class set to red. So what's C and D? C and D. So that is here. This is going to be HTML and CSS. HTML and CSS for C and D. Okay, so if you look at this here, this is one TRO, two TRO, and so the second TRO, the second TD of the second TRO, and the first TD of the third TRO. Make sense? Okay. So I'll come here. So this is the first TRO, this is the second TRO, and then I have this here. So I have H2. Now cut this. paste it here, and I'll add my span, then my class, then red. Okay, so I'm going to cut this and paste this here. Okay, so I'm going to do that for, so this is the second. The third one is this one here. So I'm going to put H2, cut this here, paste this, span, class, and I have my red, and I'm going to cut this and I'll paste it here. Okay, so I'm going to save this here. Now they said what? With a class set to red. So style H2 with a class set to red. So I'm going to refresh. Done. The class set to red. So this is done. Okay. So style H2, just to be sure. H2 is what we used. Yes. Set both paragraphs, take note of that, both paragraphs of the text in cell E. Okay, cell E. Okay. Both paragraphs into style H3 with a class set to center. Both paragraphs of text in cell E into H3. So I have this. So I have H3. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Both paragraphs here. H3. Okay, so I'm going to save it and let's see how it looks like. Okay, good. So now we can see that they are in both paragraphs. Okay. Come here. Into style H3. Into style H3. So let's do that. Okay, so come here. So you know what to do here. So this is a span, class, and what is the center, right? Let's check. With a class set to center. Okay, come here. Then we close. Okay, so I have the closing span here. So just cut this. Ctrl X, I'm just cutting it, and then I'll just paste it here. Literally. So I'll do that here as well. Span class. And I have center. And it would give me the closing, and I'll just cut this and I would paste it here. Okay, so I'm going to save my work. If I come here and I refresh, this is what I would get at the end of the day. So it's literally the same thing, literally. But yeah, we're making progress. Okay, hope we're having a good time. Yeah. Okay, so set the first line of text. So let's see. So okay, we're 9F in cell F into a paragraph style. So let's do that. The first line of text into a paragraph style. So let's do that. Okay, so that's P for paragraph. Please go through that video, episode 1 to 11. You would love it, right? I'll probably just send the links right here in this video description, right? So you can actually see all the episodes, right? Okay, so let's do this. Set the first line of text in cell F into a paragraph. So that's P. So that's done. Set the others paragraph in cell F as a bulleted list. Let's talk about list. Let's talk about list quickly. I want to teach you list. And you see list here. List should be here. Let me get list. Okay, I think list should be good. This is where it is. Okay, I think, yes, this is where it is. So now a list can be a numbered list, which is an ordered list, or a bulleted list, which is an unordered list. Now, when you have a list here, right? A numbered list is seen as what? The tag ordered list, OL. Why the unordered list is seen as what? The HTML tag UL. Both of them both have this to list, LI, both of them. So lists can be nested. That means you can be placed one inside order to give you more flexibility of your web page. And I've talked about this. There's a video on this already on this YouTube channel, right? Ajiro Tech. So, and of course, I'll probably put all the episode right here in the video description so you can also learn. So items replace the list starts with the markup list and with a close HTML tag /li, right? There are numerous ways to define the style. So the heading, we've talked about the heading and paragraph style. Each item in the list must have the list tag around it. Take note, each item in the list must have the list tags around it. The way each of these lists is displayed can be changed. Okay, so you probably see something like that. Welcome to Ajiro Tech, best IGCSE, best Cambridge IGCSE and E-levels. And yes, we're working so hard for having E-level videos on chemistry, biology, physics right here on this YouTube channel. It's going to be massive. We want to take over E-level, and it's crucial for us because our students are leaving IGCSE to E-level, and we want them to get the very best. The way they get the very best in IGCSE, we also want them to get the very best in E-level as well. How awesome is that? So we have the numbered list. So numbered list, right? You place the tag OL at the start of the numbered list and the tag OL at the end, the same way you do for what? The unordered list, which is UL. So this is the structure in which it goes through. Okay. So hope this is clear. Okay. So now they said we should do what? Let's go back to the question with this understanding. They said we should what? In a bulleted list, not a numbered list. If they said a numbered list, then we would use what? The OL. But they said what? In a bulleted list. So let's do that. So here we have this. So right here, I'm going to have this right here. So I'm going to have an ordered list. And I'm going to cut this here. And right here, put this here. Done. And then each of them is going to be with a list. Okay, close it. Come here, paste it. LI, close it. And then paste it. And then close it. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Okay, so now let's look at it. Let's refresh and let's see how it looks like. So this is how it looks like at the end of the day. So make sure that you can place appropriate content in the body section of a web page. Okay, insert a table including the table headers, rows, and so that's table headers, that's T head, table rows, TR, table data, TD. Use appropriate table attributes to meet the needs of the audience, including to adjust the cell or span more. That's talking about merge, more than one rows or column. Literally, that's what they're saying. Okay, so now we have this. So this is done as a bulleted list. Okay, now the next thing is, let's look at this. They said set the title of the web page. So this is done. Set the title of the web page to this. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. Now come here. Title is going to be in the head section. So under the head section here, I'm going to do this. So this is going to be my title. And I'll paste this here. So I'm going to save. Now, if I come here, now note that this is going to change to this. So now that has changed. Okay, so this is done. A lot, and you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the EdExcel and Cambridge IGCSE, and yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have the the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at ajirotech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about, and the fee is really quite affordable. Really, it's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable, and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E-levels as well, and also for the EdXL. So we have for the Cambridge E-levels and EdXL E-levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E-level, mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time. Even physics, for E-level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at ajiro@gmail.com, and they'll reply to you. And the good news about this is, what I've discussed with the sales team is, we've tried as much as possible to see how we can subsidize the amount according to countries, so it doesn't really look very, very heavy. Okay, so so this is really important. Yes, we do charge in pounds, but again, we try to be as much as possible considerate to your countries, and we don't just skyrocket the price. No, because at the end of the day, we know how it feels, and we really want you to actually get the best of service, and again, be able to afford it from the comfort of your home. So again, Ajiro Tech private tuition is currently ongoing. You can enroll yourself for the IGCSE, and then for the E-levels. Again, for the IGCSEs, these are the subjects, and for the E-levels, these are also the subjects. So again, what are you waiting for? Just send an email to the sales team. If you're an IGCSE student preparing for IGCSE, if you're watching this in 2025, when this is in 2026, when this is 2027, we're currently ongoing, and this is actually a good time for you to actually explore, and then get it tailored to your own needs. So trust me, you don't want to miss out. In the HTML, set the name of the default target window to self. Now, there's something I want to talk about here, to self. Now, it's right here. Yes, this is it. Exactly what I'm talking about. Open a web page in a new browser window. This is why this slide is so rich, right? It's so rich. When a web page is open, it may open in the current window, or it may open in a new window. You need to know that. In the current window, or it may open a new window. This is set using the target attribute. Take note of that. The target attribute. This attribute is part of the anchor and tells the browser which is to display. This is for hyperlinks as well. Okay. So if the attribute is not used, the browser will decide where to open. The browser will decide where to open a web page. To set a target window for a single hyperlink. Okay, this is the same thing with a single, whether it's hyperlink or whichever one, it's still the same thing. So some attributes have specific functions. The underscore blank is applied. This will open in a new browser window. Underscore self will open in the current window. Other target names such as parent at top are reserved and perform different functions with frame. Now look at this. Let's see. Good. Set a default target window. This is what I'm looking for. This is perfect. So we've studied the target attributes within an anchor tag, right? So to open a web page in a new browser window, or in a new window, if you have a web page with several hyperlinks that require the same type of action, same target, or in a new window, you can make this the default setting for the page. Now, it simply means that you must now set the web page so that the hyperlinks from the page will open a new window or in the current window. Now, this is the HTML tag we use. The default setting for this are also in the head section. See that? It's also what? In the head section and are added using what? The base tag. So here, now let's go back to the question. They said in the HTML, so this is the head. In the HTML, set the name of the default target to self. So come here in the head section and we use what? Base target. Okay, so we can click on target here and then what? Self. Target frame here is self, and then we can close this and then we can save it. Hope we're having a good time. Okay. Set the text in cell C as a link. Cell C. Okay, so this is second row as a link to open the web page. So this the web page is going to open. So I can just copy this really. So copy this in cell C. So what's cell C? HTML. Okay, so scroll down to HTML. Yes, good. So here we can come here to right. So I have my anchor tag, right, and then href. So the href, so that means hyper reference. That's what it means. Hyper reference, and I'll paste this here, and I'll close it with the anchor tag, right, and I'll cut this here, and I'll paste this here inside of it. Okay, and I'll save. Right, the preference is always very important. So I'll come here, and I'll refresh. So I have this. See that now? I have this. So if I click here, what happens? Is now opening because of the target, because of the target, okay, and the default target window and how we've put in the head, everything is now opening into this, right? Even if we change this to something, it's going to take precedence of that. Okay, so take note of that. So the next one is set the text in cell D as a link to open the web page. So D, that's CSS. So I'm just going to copy this. Now, once you add a new window called blank, this one would take precedence over the one there. But once anything is not set, the one at the head section takes precedence. Can you see that? So here, I have the CSS here, and I'm going to put this here. So I have my anchor, the hypertext reference, and I'm going to paste this here, cut this, and I'm going to paste this here. Okay, so I'm going to save this work here, and I'll come here, and I'm going to refresh. So now if I open this, see what happens. Can you see? But now it's opening here. The reason why this is the fact that we have not added the frame. Look at this. They said, let's go back here. They said, in a new window called blank. So this should be here in CSS. So I'll save. So essentially this takes precedence. Now, I know I've refreshed, I've made that a comment. So here, this will open a new tab. So even if we have this, let me take off the comment. Okay, and let me save. So even if we have this, come here, let me refresh, close this, let me refresh. It would open in a new tab because the one in the inline takes precedence. That's what I'm trying to say. The one in the inline takes precedence. Is when you don't have any, that the one in the head sections will take precedence. That's why if you see that for this, let me close, refresh. This is inside of this. I will go back, but this goes outside of it. Okay, so this is important. Okay, so yes, it's important to always check your code. Very important. And that was so this is D, which is CSS. Yes. So this is we have A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so A, B, C. Okay, okay, I've seen it. So here is A, and this is B, C, D, E, and then F. Okay. So this is very important. Okay, so that is done for cell D. Okay. Place metadata in the appropriate section of your HTML. Let's talk about metadata. Okay, let's talk about metadata. Now, and of course, I've done a video on this, but still again, I'm just going to explain. Now, it falls in the head section. That's the first thing. Meta tags are not displayed in the browser, but they hold important information that the browser requires. So that simply means that when a search engine wants to, and this is chapter 10 communications, when they want to make it, people are searching for a website, and we have a website, ajirotech.com. Go look it up. It has some awesome resource. We're still working on it. It's still on the V1, the version 1 stage. It's going to get to version 2 by the end of this year, and it's so awesome. The team, everybody's working towards it, trying to make Ajiro Tech to the world or something. And I'm really, really appreciative of everybody who's been part of this project from the onset, the new people we have in the project, the new people who've been employed to it. So thank you so much. You guys make it to work, and I'm really, really grateful. Okay, so it holds important information that the browser requires, such as specifying the character set. Okay, so we have the character set, we have the page description, we have the keywords, we have the author of the document, and we have what the viewport what setting. These functions, all these functions, tell the browser how to display the page. Right? They would search engines about keywords, which will help people to find pages in the relevant searches. Now, it's important to understand that when it comes to meta tag, it has no closing tag. It is a self-closing tag. Okay, and this meta tag has three key things: car set, which is character set, name, and content. For the car set, we have two types of character set. We have the UFT8, which is for Unicode, and we have the SO8 the UFT-8 and ISO-8859-1, which is the Latin alphabet. Then for others, we have for name, we specify 4 elements like author, description, keywords, viewports. Okay, and they are followed by the content attributes. Right? So that simply means that the content is in use with what the name attributes, and the values that have been assigned to the name. Okay, so if you want to define an author, for example, you have name, author. The name is the author, and of course the content becomes the name of that author, right? And for the page description, we have description. Okay, we have description, and then what do we have here? I think I have for the rest, defining authors. For description, you put what the content of that description. For keywords, okay, it's still the same thing. Now for keywords, they are used by search engine to try to find the website that match a search string. So the more relevant your keywords, the more better chances it appears near the top of the search engine. So it's important to note that some examples include common spellings of the words. Okay, so it's important for you to always add your keywords. So all of them is in the same code, separated by a comma. Okay, separated by the comma. The viewport settings is so important because it is the user visible area of the web page. Every chapter 1, types of computers, we have desktop, we have mobile computers. The way you view your web page in a laptop, in a tablet, in your smartphones, in your phablet, it's not the same. And this is traceable to the viewport because they can make a significant difference when you're using a smaller display size to view a web page. Okay, so there are two content part of viewport. We have the first one is the width, right? The first one is the width. The other one is the width of the device. That's when we have the viewport. The name is what? Viewport. The content becomes the name, right? Which is equals to what? The device dash width, comma, and then we have the initial scaling, which is the initial scale is set to, it could be 1.0, it could be what? 2. Okay, so this is very important. So we have the width of the device, which is what? The width equals to what? Device dash width, and then we have the initial scale. So this is very important. Again, you cannot test these elements. Okay, but you can ensure you can do due diligence um, verification to ensure that there are no errors. So you have to carefully, according to chapter 15, proofing, you have to carefully visually verify that you have made no typing errors. Hope we're having a good time. A lot, and you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the EdExcel and Cambridge IGCSE, and yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have um, you know the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, um, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at ajirotech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about, and the fee is really quite affordable. Really, it's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable, and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E levels as well, um, and also for the EdExcel. So we have for the Cambridge E levels and EdExcel E levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E level, mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time. Even physics, for E level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at ajiro@gmail.com, and they'll reply to you. And the good news about this is what I've discussed with the sales team is we've tried as much as possible to see how we can subsidize the amount according to countries, so it doesn't really look very, very heavy. Okay, so this is really important. Yes, we do charge in pounds, but again, we try to be as much as possible considerate to your countries, and we don't just skyrocket the price. No, because at the end of the day, we know how it feels, and we really want you to actually get the best of service, and again, be able to afford it from the comfort of your home. So again, Ajiro Tech private tuition is currently ongoing. You can enroll yourself for the IGCSE, and then for the E levels. Again, for the IGCSEs, these are the subjects, and for the E levels, these are also the subjects. So again, what are you waiting for? Just send an email to the system. If you're an IGCSE student preparing for IGCSE, if you're watching this in 2025, watch this in 2026, watch this in 2027, we're currently ongoing, and this is actually a good time for you to actually explore, and then get it tailored to your own needs. So trust me, you don't want to miss out. All right, so let's look at this. Place metadata in the appropriate section of your HTML, which is in the head section, to define the car set. So I'll come here to the head section, and I have meta car set, and then I have what? UTF-8. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, what else? Where is it here? Add a description to the web page. Add a description of the web page. So let's do that here. So meta name description. Okay, so we have this. So we have this. So the description will be a web page to help trainees learn HTML. That's what it is. Okay, so no too much thinking, right? So we have this. So it's literally a no-brainer, right? Because again, that's what the web page is. The web page is all about, is to help trainee learn about HTML. And if you look through, you're looking about the Visual Development Web Layer, which is the content, presentation, and behavior, and then other things you need to know in the appropriate section. Okay, so it's to help trainees learn about, or help users or students learn about HTML. Okay, improve. Okay, so I'm going to save this. So there's literally no way to tell how this is going to work. So it simply means that we need to get it right. Okay, so scroll down to this. Save your web page. Okay, take a copy of your HTML source and place this in your evidence document. Okay, place this in your evidence document. So let's do that. So I'm going to do Control A and right click and copy. Okay, so this is what step 21. So I'll go to my evidence document, step 21. Okay, step 21. Okay, so I'm going to reduce this to 2 alphabet and then paste here. Okay, so I have this. I'm going to highlight everything, really highlight everything here up to the HTML and remove space after paragraph. Okay, so we have them here. Okay, so this is fine. Okay, so we have this right here. Okay, so I'm going to save my work. Now what's the next thing? The next thing here is, okay, I think I can just put this here. Let's just start on a new page. Okay, so it's easy for the examiners to mark. Okay, I think I can also do this and start this in the next page as well. Okay, so the next thing is what they said: display your web page in a browser, if possible resize it so that the entire web page can be seen, all text can be easily read, and the address bar is fully visible. So I'll come here and refresh. So it means I have to do this here, make it the only one here. I can just reduce this because I don't want this to overlap. And of course, we can use the margin right to make this possible, but that is not there in the CSS. So I'll probably just come here, screenshot, capture full page, and I'll copy this. And then I'll paste this. No, okay. So I'll just paste this here. Done. All right, so what's the next thing here? The next thing they said what? Make sure, so I'll close this. Make sure the address bar is fully visible. So I'll come here to new, and I'll take a screenshot of this. Okay, take a screenshot of this. All right, so come here to my evidence document and I'll paste this here. Okay, now this is where I do the work. I have to zoom in, come here, right here, go to picture format, wrap text through, come here, pick wrap text through, and then bring this close. Okay, bring this close. How close do we want it to be? Let's compare what we have. Okay. All right, so think hold my shift to select both of them and then group it. Okay, I think this is better. Okay, I want to check that they are the same. Uh, okay, so a little bit. So come into picture format. I will group this. Think we bring this close a bit. Okay. Okay, group it. I think this is better. So we have this here. So this is done. So this is what we have at the end of the day. Okay, so let me make this 100%. Okay, so I'm going to save this, and so now I can probably put this back to where it belongs. So do this here. All right. So the entire page can be seen. Yes, it can. All text can be easily read. The address bar is fully visible. Now take screenshot evidence showing your web page in the browser and place this in your evidence document. So this is step 21, evidence 4, and this is also what step 21, evidence 3. So yes, because we took a copy and then we're taking a screenshot. So note the difference. Take a copy is to select all, and take a screenshot is to actually take a screenshot. So let's ensure that is the case. We took something here, step evidence 2. What step was that? Let me check. We took a screenshot. That should be step 13. Okay, it's important to put the steps so your examiners know what they're marking. Step 13, evidence 2. And obviously this was for the evidence document for spreadsheet. That wasn't done. I think this here should be step 11. Step 11, evidence 1. So step 11, evidence 1. So it's important to always check. Okay, so here I'm going to put the evidence document as well here. So this is step 13, evidence 2, step 21, evidence 3, and step 21, evidence 4. So I'm going to save my work. Let's see. Okay, so we've come to the end of this paper. Really, I just want to print it so you see how it looks like. File, print. Okay. I'm not okay with this. 12 is too. I'm just gonna make it probably make it 14. Yes, I'm okay with 14 because I want my code to be very legible. Okay, so that's fine. So I'll save my work, file, print. Okay, you can actually make it 16. Okay, I think 14 is fine. Let me see. 14. 14 is fine. 14 is fine. Okay, so I'm going to Microsoft Print to PDF is important, and I'm going to print my work. Ajiro Tech. If you're not subscribed to Ajiro Tech, you really want to do that. Print. Um, okay. Okay, I have okay, where is it? Okay, document. 2024 October, November, and I'll paste this here. So this is a evidence document. Okay, and I'm going to save the work. Okay, save. It's important to always check your work. Very important to always check, please. So I'm going to open it to see how it's going to look like at the end of the day. Okay, so I think this is okay. I think I can increase this. Okay, I just want the work to be perfect, right? And you should also do that as well in your exam. Okay, I think this is fine. I think I can just make it yep, 14, because look at it. Look at the question. If you look at the question, they said when taking the screenshot, they said the contents are clearly visible. They're not going to magnify anything. So you need to ensure that the contents are clearly visible. So this is fine. I'm going to save, file, print, and Microsoft Print to PDF, Ajiro Tech, print, and evidence document. Okay, so come here, refresh. So this is better. Okay, so this is better. Everything can be seen, and everything looks good to go. So yes, we've come to the end of this paper. Please Do well to subscribe, share this video with your friends, and I would see you in the next one. Bye for now.